Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to the new episodes of the TypeScript Tea Time. I'm your host, Mirko, and I hope you have a wonderful stay here with us. So let's look at the chat. Who's with us today? I see Kusto is again here. Hey, how's it going? How was your week? Hope you had a beautiful week, a couple of nice days. Let's see who else is here. We have yeah, for the time being, that's it. I know there are going to come some more people, and I see the count of viewers actually going up. But Twitch doesn't tell me who's in chat anyway. That's fine. I can live with that, Twitch. I'm not going to bitch around. Anyway, we have a couple of new follows. Woo! So welcome to the TypeScript Tea Time in the last few days while we all were offline. From, I'm not sure whether that's an I or an L, Loganison. Yeah, you're absolutely a veteran. I mean, you even have moderator status, so if you I'm not sure whether you can abuse it for anything, but you're definitely one of our veteran heroes here. So thanks a lot for the power every time, Kusto. I'm currently looking right into your soul, and you feel it, the ambition, the gratefulness. We also have new in the TypeScript Tea Time, Himmelsgucker, the Skywatcher. Then also Alejandrel, as well as the Tall Witch. Welcome everybody to the TypeScript Tea Time. Even if you're not here today, hope you find the little icon that shows, oh, TypeScript Tea Time is online. And then you can join us in. Devilish. Yeah, just for you, I'm going to introduce some admin level stuff so that you can start it. I think as soon as we actually start with our application again, you are one of the few people who have the rights to start an ambush. And we're all getting attacked by the evil monsters that lurk in this universe. That said, we have a couple of things today. So last time we kind of left off with our NestJS application for playing DnD in the Twitch chat. So when I write exclamation mark, you know the text. When I write exclamation mark ambush into the chat, or Kusto you can also do, or Mace's Grace, our highness. When one of us writes exclamation mark ambush into the chat and the server is actually running, then we get actually attacked by a evil fiend that's randomly picked from a list. Then starts to attack the people that actually join. So exclamation mark join into the chat to join the party, to fight the monster. And then we can kind of turn-based Final Fantasy style attack one after another. And then the monster attacks at some point, and then we can attack again. And today, we, on the one hand, want to deploy all of this. So I did my homework. And yeah, we can basically just run one simple command to deploy everything to AWS, including a database and all the permissions and an API gateway so that we can actually connect to it, and a load balancer. Not that we need a load balancer, but it was easier to set up with a load balancer. And stuff. And it's actually going to build a Docker container for us. So that's one part. That's what I'm going to showcase first, I think. And then we're heading towards the second part, which is rendering stuff in PhaserJS, which is a game development framework, or HTML5 game development engine, which is, well, fairly easy to use, at least. And I do have some experience with it. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So am I allowed to share that? I'm not sure. Yeah. For the sake of privacy, I'm not going to share one of the games that I developed If I get permission from the person who co-developed it with me, then that it's okay to share it, then I'm also going to share it. It's kind of a math puzzle. If you have ever heard of the traveling salesman problem, it kind of goes in that direction, solving it manually and puzzle-like. Rapid iteration puzzle game, if you want to say it like that. So let's get into two things. So maybe because it's simpler, where's my list here? There we go. There are very minor changes in the last episode that I had to make to make everything run smoothly. So one is that last time when we wanted to expose our event log from our game to the world with the help of WebSockets. And last time we used this NestJS pattern or decorator to expose our socket.io server on port 3001. And I actually wanted to run it on the same port as the web application, which is running on 3000. The thing is, if I write 3000 in here, so if this one becomes a 3000 and the web server is also running on 3000, then we get an error, which is annoying. The solution to make it work is just not provide any port, and that makes it work. Then by default it works such that it runs on the same port. And this is actually important for our deployment, because when we deploy it into AWS, we only can expose one single port and not multiple, because it's inside of a Docker container, as well as inside of AWS Fargate, and you only have one port. So we wanted definitely to run both the WebSocket server as well as the HTTP, the regular web server, on the same port. And the way to do it in NestJS is just not provide any port, which is, well, one interesting side effect of this. I'm not sure whether we can actually, yeah, we can provide undefined and then still provide the options here, which is some object. So that's one. And now comes the more interesting part. So let me make a check mark here for so those are the NestJS changes for making both WebSockets as well as the other fun stuff work on the same port. So, and now comes AWS CDK. So as you can see, we currently are in the server, but what I want to do is switch one level higher. So here's the server, and I'm basically just, I did choose directory ... stepping one up, and we're kind of in a monorepo position now, where we have on the top level we have the AWS CDK, so Cloud Development Kit, which is basically an abstraction, so you like Terraform, but only for AWS, and you can write TypeScript as well as some other languages. So we have that in our root repository, and inside of there we have the server sub-repository as a package for the whole, which is also just like a regular NPM project, which has its own package and so on. And the parent, so the AWS CDK, also is basically just a regular NPM package using TypeScript. So you see here, name is wrong, but other than that, you see it has dependencies and package JSON, and it actually even has tests. Not that I implemented them, but nevertheless. And now what it does, it packs the inside this server. We have a Docker file. So the server gets completely packed into a Docker file. And then AWS CDK pushes it up to AWS Fargate. So we have Docker file inside the backend, aka the server. And we have AWS CDK app. So you call it an app if something uses AWS CDK. Let me maybe share the AWS CDK, the links for that. So in case you are interested, you can find more about it there. It's in root directory, like the parent of server. And what it does, we deploy a document DB, which is essentially MongoDB in AWS. And then it deploys, or it builds the Docker file, Docker image of the backend. And then it runs the Docker image on AWS Fargate. Plus it connects to the document DB. That's in very broad strokes how it works. We can take a slight look at how it looks like. So for example, this one here. Let me close the terminal. So what you typically do is you implement or extend a cdk.stack, stack meaning this is a deployable unit. All of this gets packed together into like one file or one big JSON, and then AWS tries to use this JSON file and deploys it. And if some error appears, actually it tries to re-roll everything together and stuff. So this is kind of one deployment unit. And we extend upon that. And what we say is we essentially, the relevant line is this one. We want to have a Fargate service, which is basically just curated Docker. So it runs Docker for us, Docker images for us. And in our case, it's also load balanced because that's just easier implementation ways. And then we say, okay, it should be public, the load balancer, because we actually want to connect to it from a public website. Man dev. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by man dev, Gusto? If you can help me there, that would be great. And then we say, okay, here's the image. Run it from, or build the image from /server, and it looks for the Docker file there and then runs the Docker file. Run it on the container port 3000, and then give it some environment variables and secrets, which are also basically just environment variables if you want so. Oh, Mace's Grace, nice. Happy to see you again. Welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, and that's essentially all that it takes to run any kind of let's say, basic container on, wait for it. DevOps is like black magic. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. You're probably right. It takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of it's not like knowing the very basics of it and then you're done, but it's like every 3 days something new comes up Yeah, so I kind of get what you're saying there. So inside of our application, I actually make use of these environment variables if we are deploying. And these environment variables are there to connect us to the database, which is also called, also defined in here. So again, we extend a cdk.stack. And in this case, we only want to provide the document DB, which is MongoDB, just the AWS version of it, essentially. And here the relevant line, the really relevant line is just this here, which is creating a database. In this case, it's a whole cluster because it's multiple machines together. But you can think of it as one database from the view of a database client, and you give it a username and everything else, and the port. But the port is just the default port, and that's it. And then it does the magic. The rest is just exporting it so we can actually use it inside of the inside of our NestJS application, NestJS application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run, so inside of package.json we see here cdk deploy, and I'm going to run yarn deploy, and now it's going to tell me, oh, you need to provide a stack that you want to deploy. Because it's, again, a stack is one deployable unit. Illuminati. The Illuminati equals DevOps. Where did you... I'm always wondering where you get all those all those nice nice stickers. Isn't that a default sticker? Illuminati. It is. Maybe I should take a look at the default stickers. Okay, so here it says, since this app includes more than a single stack, you need to specify one. So what I'm going to do is say yarn deploy, and I'm going to deploy the docdb stack first. And I can do this on its own, but just to save some time, I'm also going to deploy the TWAS stack together with it, which is possible. Closest emoji to black magic. Yeah, definitely. I mean, what more mysterious is there than the Illuminati? So one thing that it asks me here is, because it's doing permission changes, security, it's unfortunately ugly formatted. Let me do that again so that the formatting is slightly better. So AWS CDK, it tells me when changes might become security risks. So whenever I give more access to somebody than I did before, so taking away is fine, but giving more access means it's security relevant. And then it would ask me, are you really sure you want to do that? Maybe think again. So in this case, everything is fine because I actually know that it is fine. I checked before. The most interesting one is probably that the document DB is accessible ingoing. Yeah, I think that's it. So you can connect to the document DB from within the AWS environment, which is called a VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. Yeah. So talking about DevOps and AWS, I think, like, let's say 60% of DevOps is actually just knowing the freaking acronyms because there are so incredibly many. I mean, it just starts with AWS. And if you don't know that AWS is the Amazon Web Services, you don't connect it to Amazon at all. And then there's VPC, and then there's what, and DocumentDB. And just knowing the acronyms as well as what each service does is just amazing. Like AWS DocumentDB, what does it do? Oh, it gives me a MongoDB. With MongoDB, I can work. That's fine. But DocumentDB, I first have to understand, oh, it's the AWS version of MongoDB, essentially. Yeah, so this is going to take some time. We're probably going to move on to something else. In the meantime, it will do a lot, 36 changes here. I think in the middle, I probably have to, currently it's only doing the DocumentDB. I also have to tell it to like give me the provide the security, or approve the security changes for the actual NestJS application. Nest. Sorry, I'm always mixing it up with Next. In any event, let's move that aside. I did explain the overall structure, and we are doing the deployment. Let's go next up to our Phaser project. So inside of here, let me open a new terminal. Can I like make this smaller? This is fine. Inside of here, you see, so there's the server. We have all the CDK stuff on top, and we also have TWAS here. That's our new front end. And it is using, so if I do code dot here, it opens the new VS Code inside of it. And here we can look at the package JSON. So TWAS, visualization for Twitch chat-based, turn-based battle game of TypeScript T-Time. Man, that's a long name, right? It almost sounds like the name of my master thesis. Doing this and that. Like academic papers are always having these incredibly long names. So the relevant part is not the def dependencies. We can close these. The relevant part are the dependencies. And basically it's just using Phaser, because Lodash is there always in my heart. Lodash is always in my heart. I think that's the wrong melody. We can actually try to start this. So if I do yarn dev, so it uses Webpack to start everything. PhaserJS, as I said, a website for making not a website, but a library, a game engine for HTML5 games. And with this, we are going to build our front end. So we are going to use Phaser 3, which is, I think, the still current version. Let's look at this. This is still in progress. Okay, perfect. And so did I start it? I didn't. Didn't I start it? I did start it here. Okay, perfect. And it started over here. So currently, framework. Yeah. Framework also fits. I like that. Oops. Where's Chrome? Here's Chrome. This TWAS. Let me push that here. Currently it looks like this. So if I reload, it looks slightly nicer. We have kind of, for a millisecond, we have kind of a loading screen. So I think I can do Can I? Does it do anything? Maybe it does. I think we can look at it if I go to settings here and capture the screenshots inside of the network tab. I hope we can actually go back in time kind of and see it rendering from 0 to finish. So this is how it looks like in the beginning. That's not very interesting. How can I go back? Ah, here. And then it starts. So it has a kind of loading screen. Is it visible? Large enough? No. It has kind of a loading screen, which then starts loading things. Here it says loading asset button SM, small, and still loading button SM. Now it's loading asset. I can't read that. That's too small. And then I think it starts fading out, and the loading screen goes away, and it starts rendering our title screen here. The title screen takes some time to actually. So because I currently have a fade in set over like 100 milliseconds or something, and eventually we see this, and I can remove all of that. Finally, we see this, and in this case there's a big button. So I did develop kind of a casual game before, just for fun. So this looks very casual. We are going to change a lot of this, and then I'm going to hit play, and in this case there is just it's the universe. I think it's not really visible on the screen, but there's kind of a galaxy here, because it was a star-based, like the stars were falling from the top, and yeah, a very casual game that I did develop at some point, and it has a score, and that's it. What we want to do is we are going to add something into. Do I still have it on? This. So our goal is to actually take that and then move it into into a browser source, like I did right now. So this is OBS, the streaming the streaming tool that I'm using. Adding a kind of browser window inside of the stream. So I do not have any control over it besides its position, but I cannot click the button, of course. And yeah, the idea is to have this and it renders our actual game. That's the big idea, and that's what we are going to do today. So the important part to understand here is that I am not able to make any clicks at all. So everything has to actually be controlled from somewhere else, and then pushed into the browser source. I surely hope that it actually works. So it seems to be somewhat dynamic, because it definitely switched from the loading phase into the like regular loading title screen. Nevertheless, because we are actually doing a socket IO connection, a WebSocket connection, I hope OBS allows us to do that, but I'm not 100% sure. So let's hope it does. That's the only thing that I can hope for here. Let us check whether this has actually finished or whether it's still going on. Where is my scroll bar? Apparently it has not finished. Oh, it has finished. Perfect. So in this case now my bad, that's the wrong. Let me hide the browser source again. There. So we do see some outputs here from AWS, from the document database. Like, I don't know, the secret attachment ID, and what else, which subnets are used, and the VPC. Fortunately, nothing too important, including this. It's actually not possible to connect to the URL, to the endpoint of the document DB from a regular place. It's just accessible from within the AWS infrastructure and from within that one particular point that I've defined. So that's very good. I can even show it here on screen without having to remove it again. And other than that, we now see the Fargate service, so the thing that deploys our Docker. And here something funny happens. So I do approve all of these changes. So we also see that everyone is able to log onto it from TCP/80. We now see that it's actually running the complete Docker. So it's doing some stuff, for example, running npm CI minus only production, so to install only the production stuff, and copying the package JSON, and copying the distribution, and some certificates. And then it's pushing it into, it's pushing the Docker image, the build Docker image that it just created, into AWS, which is called ECR, which is another one of those freaking acronyms that you have to know. ECR stands for Elastic. E usually stands for Elastic in AWS. CR is Container Registry. And then it is using ECS, which is E again stands for Elastic. C is container again, and S is the service most of the time, at least if it's at the end. And yeah, and then it's trying to deploy this Docker image. So this will take a while again. We are also setting up a load balancer so that we can actually log into it. From here on, I'm going to leave it. Just saying that, so if we now make changes to our application, we just run this command again, and it will then rerun the Docker and push the new Docker image. And yeah, just deploy this new Docker container instead of having to create the new infrastructure. So as soon as we now make changes, everything will be just like, woo, fast, incredible fast. And once this is done, we can actually play around, I think. I don't think we will see anything. Yeah, we won't see anything, but that's fine. It's fine for now, let's say. Moving on. So back to Phaser. We can, yeah, if you have any questions in between, either about AWS CDK or about Phaser or what the hell we are actually doing here. By the way, we're actually just drinking tea. Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, always feel free to ask. Happy to have discussions in the chat, also among each other, of course. For example, what are you working on, or what are you aiming for? That said, tell me maybe your wins of the week. I'm curious again. I'm also kind of thinking about a kind of this another bot, which is displaying the wins of the week on the stream. Like down here, for example, it would then, if you write exclamation mark win of the week. So this is all stolen from Clarkio. All credit goes to him. This guy, I think I gave him a shout out last time already. Yeah, drop your drop your win of the exclamation or win of the week. He says in the Discord, but you can just do it in chat. In our case, we don't have a Discord. And then it kind of gets displayed on the stream on the screen, for example, here or down here in the middle, which would be pretty cool, I think. Kind of a highlight. So let's do Phaser. Let's maybe look at how do we actually start. So PhaserJS, some basics. PhaserJS is divided into so-called scenes. That's one important part. So in our case, we have kind of a loading scene here, or currently existing loading scene, which that automatically transitions to I think the title scene. You can look. So these are all just files. So we have the loading scene up here, which looks like this. So it extends some class extends a scene. And scene is a Phaser construct. Win of the week. Updating React Native paper. Woo! Congratulations. Nice. So you're working on React Native. What kind of application are you working on? If you want, you can also make some advertisement here, or just share with us what you're working on. It's definitely, I think that more than just me, people are interested. So the loading scene automatically transitions into the title screen, and then on click of the start button, we transition into the what's it called, main scene. So it's an Android app for a very awesome dungeon master tool. Sweet, 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 sweet. So more Dungeons and Dragons. That's very nice. What kind of tool? I'm curious more. Yeah. So what? And then the main scene handles the rest. One important thing is scenes can spawn completely new scenes. That's one part, but also scenes can have kind of child scenes, at least in a sense. They are not really childs, but they are. You can make them act like childs. If I say not really child scenes, I mean child. The regular child scene would be you spawn the parent and then you spawn the childs, and if you remove the parent, also the childs get removed. I don't think that's happening, but you can make it that it actually works like that. So, and we are going to use that. One thing that we cannot do is have this on click of start button. So it helps improvising for fantasy adventures. Sweet. Yeah, that's nice. That's really cool. That's really cool. Like monster generation? essentially the thing that we needed. So we might integrate it. If it's monster generation, we might integrate your application. Heavens with intriguing stuff. Cool. Heaven generation. So yeah, I can imagine that that's something very useful for DMs. Names and drinks. Sweet. Yeah, coming up with names is terrible. Jesus. So I did not play Game Master, Dungeon Master too much. But man, coming up with names is just terrible. and coming up with names that actually fit the semantics and the topic, man, it's quite something. So very nice. Cool. Looking forward to hearing more, and even worse, remembering the yeah, remembering the name of your NPCs and stuff. Definitely is something. Relax, man. Yo. How's it going there? Doing fine, thank you. Welcome to the stream. CSGO matchmaking. Can check this, man. So I'm for the time being we are going to continue with what we are working on. But thanks for coming in. I see you're working on CSGO stuff. It's possible at simple front end to the back end. Probably. I mean, if you have things exposed to an API, you can just make some API calls and then pull some stuff. Or there are more ideas or more ways to expose something to the front end. But yeah, definitely something that's, I suppose, possible. So just out of curiosity, let's look at which language we're using. Node.js, ES6. Yeah, let's bring that up. It should be fine. It's definitely not a bad link because it's on GitHub. Come on. Thank you. So, construct global offensive matchmaking using Node.js, ES6, simple node logger, JSON-DB, Socket.io. Yeah, Socket.io, you're in the perfectly right stream, my friend. You are in the right stream because that's exactly what we're going to do today. We are building a client for Socket.io. In our case, with the help of PhaserJS, because we want to render essentially a game. And yeah, so there's probably something for you to learn. Yeah, very nice. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. Relax, man. Hope you have your cup of tea or your hot beverage with you. I'm going to take another sip, and then we're going to continue on planning out what we are going to do here. Okay. So now let's get into this. So let's also define some milestones. We cannot click the start button if we want to have it as an overlay. Remember that. So it's still there, but I cannot click this button. No matter what I try, I will not be able to click this button. So what we are going to do is we use Socket.io to essentially send the events to the front end. And then the front end reacts dynamically on it, automatically, essentially, or programmatically. That's what we are aiming for. So what we need for that is we need a socket or a IO client on in a scene. That's the first most important part, and we actually need to use socket IO add 2 point something, 2.x, because our backend uses 2.x. It's still applicable to most of socket IO. It's all the same essentially. You get some events and then you send it or react to it. So that's part one. For that, we're actually going to remove the title scene, I think. We do want the loading scene, and we do want to have the main scene. And then we transition from loading scene directly to main scene. Or maybe we put something in the middle, not sure yet, just for abstracting socket IO away. But that's something we can do in a second maybe. Or let me use this title scene. So we do have a bunch of stuff in here. Most importantly, so we extend a scene, and as soon as it gets called, Phaser will actually call this create method. So we do connect to it from the loading scene, and somewhere inside of here we should say, there we go. We should say this.scene.add. Sorry, here we go. Scenes.title, title scene, and then some parameter. I think it to actually start it. Auto start true. Yeah. This is just a key, so that it and Phaser uses it to keep track of the scenes, because you can have scenes of the same class multiple times as long as they have a different key. So loading scene with this line automatically switches to the title scene, and then in the title scene it calls the create method. It does this fade in. We actually don't need that anymore. It adds a background image. That's fine. And it does some more stuff. We can get rid of, I think, all of the more stuff. Get rid of it. There we go. Let's leave this background image. We have a background image. And what I'm going to do here is we are going to start a WebSocket. For that, okay. So I want to install, let me see, where is my trusty Google? So socket IO client, that's important. So socket IO comes with two NPM libraries. One is for the server, one is for the client. And we do want to have the client side. It's like this. So we take that one, and we do want to have add version 2, because our backend is only compatible with version 2. Version 2 is fine. I think it's still the most used, to be honest. But I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. All of these were there before, and they are not production relevant, I think. Let's hope. Yeah, we have zero vulnerabilities in production. Okay, so I did have socket IO client installed. Since we're doing TypeScript, I also want to have. But does it come actually with TypeScript types? Can we do this? Socket. WebSocket, create socket. That's probably not it. Let me maybe do this at types/socket.io client at 2. That doesn't work. At 1. That doesn't work. We have to find, I think it's IO. Whoops, where did I go? Socket.io client. We did install it, so if I do IO, yeah, there we have it now. So do I need to let me, do I have that online? Pro Singularity to the GitHub of Unitaushi. Oops. So I did this once, like 2 years ago, 1 year ago or something, 15 months ago apparently, and we can learn from that, I think. Here in the I suppose battle scene, we do here. So we import IO from socket.io client. And now we have TypeScript working for us. Perfect. So where I want to connect to is, for the time being, just localhost 3000, which is running our backend. And this is the client. So this returns a socket.io client.socket. So private client is io.socket.io client. There we go. Let me look at the chat. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, my friend, can we start from 0 with project if you have time? I don't think we have that much time. So what you can do is you just go to the GitHub and you can clone it if you want. And then you can code along, essentially. So you can go to this GitHub, clone the repository, and then inside of episode 7, we have this TWAS is actually what you want, if you want to use Phaser at least. Yeah. Other than that, there are PhaserJS starters, PhaserJS or Phaser 3, template, TypeScript, for example. Apparently, this is even from the makers of Phaser, so this is probably not too bad, definitely, with Rollup.js, interestingly. Yeah, so this might also be something, and then you can start from there. With socket.io, we actually start from 0 here. Yeah, so that's one important point. So I want to import this, but for whatever reason, it does not say I can import it. Star comma socket.io client. That for whatever reason doesn't work. Oops. How does it actually? Oh, it's a global. Ah, how I hate globals. Yeah, apparently it's a global. Okay. Dot socket. That's our client essentially, or our socket connection that we want. In this case, it's definitely assigned by me inside of here if I write this dot client equals IO of something. And from then on, we connect a couple of callbacks. So the important part here was basically just call IO and then the link that you of your WebSocket server that you want to connect to, and then you call this variable which you assign the socket to dot on, and here you can now define your messages that you want to receive. For example, on there's one initial name. Do we have it here? Apparently not. Maybe we do that on the backend. So socket IO connection event. So on connection. Is this on the server side? Client side. Ah, okay. So on the server side, we say io.socket.onConnection do something. And on the client side, we just listen. So we kind of have to work in two repositories now. One is our server, and the other one is our client. So where is my gateway here? There we go. So if we add subscribe message of connect or connection of connection, then and connect, and in this case, what do we want to do? We want to send something to the client. So we can just say return and return something. For example, hello there. Let's see if that works. It should be. Wait. WebSocket. WebSocket response or something. Yeah, there we go. And it receives a type T. So that's probably the data. So now we can use TypeScript here. So it is an event, and the event is called, let's say, hello TypeScript, or hello, who's in chat? Relax, man. Or we call it hello, and we say data, relax, man. And hopefully, if we get a hello event here on the client side, then we're just going to print it out. So data is hopefully a string. So by default, data is, What type? Function. Okay. It couldn't be more generic. Yeah, I think we get past the data, which is in our case a string, and then we just console.log the data for the time being. And this is kind of our proof of concept, hoping that things do work. Site is not running anymore. Yeah, dev. Enough time to drink some tea. Amazing. If I open this, we get a problem. So it says it cannot connect, and the reason is simple. Our backend is not running. So we do ... go into the server here, and then rerun yarn dev. Or first docker container start mongo, and then yarn dev. Now the backend is running on port localhost 3000 on localhost 3000. We do connect to localhost 3000 now, and now we see that okay, everything is fine, and we should already see hopefully something. Apparently not. Well, how could it be that easy? It cannot, right? Let's find out. How do we listen to the connect event? Or well, what we can do instead is we can do this .client.emit. So emit is the message that we use to send stuff to the backend. So you can, with on you listen, with emit you send. And we do emit, let's say, events. And then it receives some data. And in this case, it is apparently a string. So I am a string from emit events. So this reloads. It hopefully actually does the send. Somewhere here it is. There's a post. Response okay. Do we see the body down here? So it says events, I am a string from emit events, and hopefully we see that on the back end. Yeah, there it is. So we can definitely send. So we connect to from the front end to the back end. The back end is just there and listening all the time. And then we can send an initial message, for example, to say hello. And as of then, the stuff can respond. We also have to find out how we can actually push stuff, but that's one thing that we push emit stuff from the backend to the front end. But that's one stuff that we are going to learn in a minute, hopefully. Maybe we have something like this dot. No, okay. Next. So, is that already what we need to do now? So we can say hello. For example, we can now, I think that's the NestJS functionality, so that we can actually get access to the socket.io client. If we want if we want to emit, here we go. We can up. Let me read this for just a second here. Observable, blah, blah, blah. Server. Okay. I think we can do the following. How about this? Instead of just returning the data, we actually return event with some data. Yep. And now what should happen is, so the client connects, then client emits, or it sends. It sends events message. Then the server receives events message and responds with a hello message. And then the client again actually logs it. Client receives and logs hello message. And I think as of then we're fairly well situated. So we have everything on the front end. Yeah, on the front end. We emit the event. It gets sent to the back end, which is listening for events messages. They are just like a namespace. It then returns a hello message or hello event with some data, and the front end actually listens to this hello message and then logs it. And that's how it works. So do we have it running here? Somewhere? Everywhere? Yeah. Yeah, there it is. So the backend sent us relax man. And we have it here. And that's how it goes. Woo, it works. High five. So we've got our first kind of milestone, a basic connection from client to server. That deserves some tea. Tea for everyone. Yeah, if you write !, high five, it will actually do, or HF, then it will actually also do the boom, and you give also tea to everyone. Feel free to do that. The more the merrier. Okay, let's find out what we actually want to do. Yeah, so basically we have this to do done. Bams, whoop, 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 and can think about the next step. But before we think about the next step, I actually want to check our deployment here. Because now, as you can see, we have TWAS deployed in Elastic Load Balancer at Amazon. Why does it print it twice? Because one it's HTTP. And this is our application running. Currently it's saying hello world, but if we go to /, so remind, we're now moving back to the beginning of the stream where we We deployed everything with our backend with AWS CDK. We did deploy the document DB. There's nothing to see as of now. And then we deployed our Docker image, the Docker image that contained the backend, the NestJS application. And it is running now here. I should have changed this hello world into something relevant, but we can actually go to /adventurers and hopefully it doesn't crash. Yeah, it took a while because it was connecting to the database for the first time. But other than that, it actually is empty, which is a good thing, because now let's play a game of TypeScript time. T-Wars, I mean. So I need your help now for just a sec, and then after that we move back to the socket.io stuff in PhaserJS, because then it becomes much clearer what we actually want to want to achieve. So Mace's Grace, I need you, or yeah, just Mace's Grace, to write !ambush into the chat. And as soon as he did, I want everybody to !join our party. And then we get attacked by a monster. Attacked by some monster. We cannot actually see it because it's running in the cloud and we do not expose anything yet, which is kind of a bummer. But yeah, let's hope it just works. We can, I think, see it. Yeah, here we go. So I reloaded all the adventurers, and so far 2 people have joined. H. Kastovich, who is level 1 and has experience 0. Unfortunately, your experience was reset. Also, Mace's Grace has joined, and if I write !join as well and reload here, I will have joined as well. Their TypeScript tea time has joined. Yeah, and Ishmael, welcome to the stream. You should also be here now. Woo! It works, and now we are getting now attacked by a monster which we cannot see. It's kind of a poltergeist, a very, very dangerous poltergeist, because we can actually do nothing against it, except, so you can, in theory, if you want to try, I think it only has 21 HP, because I forgot monsters, no? Monster.json. Yeah, every monster has 21 HP. So if we now write !attack, and you can put that inside of a sentence, for example, !attack the head of the poltergeist. Or you can you can say I storm towards the poltergeist and attack it with my magic hands. Attack now! And since it has only 21 HP, it should be fairly simple to defeat it, even if we cannot see it. Attack the poltergeist, attack now. So try anything that contains !attack. You can also just !attack. And it should be fairly straightforward to defeat the poltergeist. And then we will see that everybody actually gets experience points. And this way we know it works. So to give some context now with the PhaserJS application that we're building, we want to display all of that stuff. Attack the poltergeist with acid. Let's see whether it's already killed. It is! We did it! That deserves another... Oh, I was about to write !attack. Another high five for everybody. T for you guys. You did it! Good job, good job, good job. Yeah, and everybody actually received HP. So add experience points. Let's see. I think 300, you get a level up. And I'm not sure whether a level up at this point does something, but from this point on, this is actually our production database. So we will, in a bit, maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. For example, your level will give you +1 on attacks. So you actually hit a little bit harder for the sake of the party. And as time goes on, so I think about like we can make some equipment, we can have magic, we can have like persisted HP that you have to heal with your magic potions, for example. And commands for all of that, and maybe a front end so that you can actually see the equipment and stuff, which will be another project, so that everybody can actually see everybody's equipment. Not that everybody can control everybody, only you can control yourself thanks to your username in Twitch. But yeah, that's basically it. And we are going to make the poltergeist visible now, with the help of our socket.io connection. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I'm very happy that it worked this far. From here on, I think we can actually throw away. Well, I do need this link. What just happened? I do want to copy the link. If you go to the link, you can actually also go to, for example, / it's public, so you can just go there. I think you can also go to / for example, Ishmael. Does it work? I'm not sure where. Yeah, we have a find one also. So this might eventually become an endpoint where you actually can see all your equipment as well. And hopefully we also make a nice front end for it, so it's slightly nicer. And you can, yeah, I don't know, do stuff with it. Maces Grace is saying at some point we might be able to have enough people to actually raid a boss monster like Tarask or Ancient Red Dragon. So for everybody to see what Mace is talking about here, yeah, that's a bad boy, like a dinosaur style monster. That's definitely something that we are. I mean, currently it only has 21 HP. If we're lucky enough to have it in this Terra, no, unfortunately it's not in the list. Or did I type it wrong? No, currently it's not in the list, but we might as well add it. Or Ancient Red Dragon. It's probably also not inside of this list. Yeah, so currently we cannot defeat it. I think everybody knows how a red dragon looks like, and an Ancient Red Dragon is just like the most typical red dragon you can have, probably. Oh, most typical dragon you can have, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So for today, we want to make the poltergeist visible. I want to have some characters right here on screen for each person who has actually joined the party. And I want to have the end boss. I want to have the monster here. Probably first do the monster because it's slightly easier. And we're going to do it generic. My bad, but for the time being, we can always replace the assets later. But yeah, just to get us started and have all the logic, which is the hard part. I mean, drawing the images is also very, very hard. It probably takes me way longer to draw any images or find them in the depths of the internet. But yeah, if you want to help me right now or the stream, try to look for some like Final Fantasy style maybe characters, which are CC0 or at least only CC for like SG or something. One great source to do this is Open Game Art. If you find something and you send it to me, so for example, you find here on the left side, you see the which licenses you need. Ideally, this is saying CC0. That would help me a lot. There's one which there's one which the maker of Exiled Kingdoms used. Seriously? Yeah, if you can find that, that would be amazing. It will greatly help us make this look nice in less than 5 hours. Back to the front end. So we have the backend basically just running now. Also, actually, I think we also fought something here. So we kind of had two battles at the same time. Here we fought Needle Blight. Let's see, let's find out what that is. Needle Blight. It looks like, these look a bit like a, there's actually an anime also named like that. Spriggan. Is it? I think it's Spriggan. Yeah, Spriggans look very similar to that, right? Well, at least to this one. Anyway, heading back. So we have it also running, so we can kind of play always twice. You actually get XP, but the fun part for our debugging purposes is right here. And now, we are going to, what do we want? So first of all, let's display the monster image. So let's see. Okay, let's assume we already have a battle. Let's assume we already have a battle and we connect to it. So we want to render everything that's already there. So let's get something like emit initial data. Get initial data. And we, in the back end, let me make, did I make this? Yeah, I made this larger. This is too small, right? Oh, how did we have it before? I forgot. If it's too small, tell me. I'm not sure which size we actually had up until like 5 minutes ago. Let's close that one. Where is now my, we have the gateway. There it is. Here we go. So let's do get initial data without the additional strings. On initial data, we want to have the currently running battle, right? So we do something like, I think we have to inject private, no, not private, constructor. We do like battle or chatbot. And we say this one is a chatbot service, which we want to connect to. Thank you. So, and we want to have it private read-only, as a variable. And from there we can at least get some data. So first of all, I want to make it work, and then we might iterate on things here. So if we get this get initial data message, we actually don't need any. Let's leave that for a second. Oh, how about I move this? Oops, oops, oops. What is happening? So let's leave events here so we see that it works. And let's do it here. And then I need to fix the quotes here. So initial sync. We want to have events or event. We want to send init, and we want to send data, which is essentially the battle log, right? Yeah, basically we just want to stream the battle log, right? Isn't that correct? Oh, sweet. See serious sprites with different adventurers in different posings. Oh no, hopefully there's a transparent one. That's very small. Yeah, that might work. Thank you so much. If you find one looking to the right, that would be amazing. Or does it include anything that looks to the right? Or to the left? Whichever you prefer. Character sprites, Soldier. That's a whole sprite sheet for movement. That's not what we are looking for. Yeah, but this one definitely works for now. Oh man. Yeah, this is perfect. Amazing, amazing. So we just have to grab the right ones. And then things hopefully work. And it is CSC0, perfect. Of course, we don't want to, it takes a lot of effort. So thank you, Mace Grace, and also thank you, Elderan, for building this. Yeah, today the lighting is a bit bad in the whole house for whatever reason, so my eyes are kind of tired. What we want here is a WebSocket response with a battle log, essentially. And how we do that is we go to const data equals log equals this dot chatbot dot get battle log, and then we provide the log as data. So it can provide, you can provide any kind of JSON data here, as long as it's serializable. So it can be a string, it can also be an array, it can also be an object. Everything works with the help of Socket.io. From here, we want to go into our service. So chatbot service and expose the battle log. So the battle is right here. And we want to have a public method which exposes public get battle log. Bams. And then we say, actually we can use public get battle log as well. And then we return this dot battle question mark dot log. Is that it? It's an I-event array. That's perfect. It might be undefined. However, that's one important point. But other than that, I think we're fine. And now inside of here, we can just say give me the battle log. And this is an iEvent array that we want to return, or undefined. Should be fine as well. So, get initial data. We emit this, and we don't actually need any data. And then we say on init, on init we get data, which is any kind of object array. Yeah, then autofix it, thank you. And then let's, for the time being, just create a big string where we attach it to. So we do this.add text, and we add it at, let's see, this.scene.height, width.scale. So we are in a scene. This.scale.width half, which places it in the center of the screen. And then we put it at, let's say, 100, so we just have some padding to the top. And we put some text, which is just empty. So const text equals this, or log. And now whenever, so on init, we say log.setText. We want data, okay, const text equals data dot join, and we want to join it with, I suppose, a line break, something like that. And then we set the text. And if we're lucky, so default, just so we see that something happens. Let me save that for later. Where is my Chrome window? There we go. So we do have the default here. And for whatever reason, it cannot actually connect to, or it does not find some assets. That's fine. Let me fix that. Loading scene. Which ones? Sunshiny. It doesn't find this one, and it doesn't find thermometer. Yeah, that's from the template. Sorry about that. And star, it also can't find. There we go. Save. Okay, that's one error less. Bams. And now the data can actually be undefined, right? So we do, maybe let's do it like this, or empty array. So now it should do nothing because we are not in a battle. If we do hello, and let's say hello, Mace is Grace, Your Highness. Is it allowed to put a comma there? No, probably not. I mean, you're the Majesty, right? So if we do it like this, we do not return events, damn it. So if we said, for example, let's say type type join maze is grace, and then we have another join, for example, approve it. You're so merciful, Your Highness. You are true grace. We also have Custo here. Did I forget to read your message? So endboss to Twitch that keeps banning us if we keep if we keep attacking too fast here in the chat. Well, first of all, yeah, you're right. They're not going to ban you, but they are blocking you from sending messages for the time being. If you happen to experience that, please stop sending the same message again and again. Else you might actually get banned for spamming. So Custo. We also have Relaxman here, and we have Ashmel. Oh, my bad. Ashmel. Now, if we save this, for whatever reason, it says, I of course need to write member everywhere. There we go. And now we go to our application. Object. Yeah, the infamous object. Data.something. Data.map. JSON.stringify, for example. Why is that not allowed? Number is not assignable to type. Wait, what? This is, let's say, some object. Does that work? No? Why not? X maps to stringify of X. Why does that work but the other not? TypeScript. And there we go. It works. Now we have to make it, of course, nicer. And react on specific. So we kind of now have event-driven inside of event-driven. So, which sounds weird, and maybe is weird, but it's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Relax. We've got so far. That means it's probably also possible that if one of you would be so nice to start an ambush, I think then the magic happens, because we will see the battle log essentially here. !ambush. We don't. Because an ambush should start something, if I'm not mistaken. Why not? Network. Come on, you can do it. Thank you. Did we receive the messages? 1, 2, 6. What's that supposed to mean? So we do have it started here, and we did die. The question is, why did it not receive it on the front end? What if we do this? then it's doing the same again. So what could be the problem here? Because we sent get initial only once. That's why. So if I reload the page during the battle, everything is fine. So let me now start another ambush here. And if I reload now, yeah, there we go. Monster appeared, and if we do !join and I reload, unfortunately, it says join. Sweet. Now we have to actually stream it, right? Because that's why we're using WebSockets here. So that's going to be slightly more complicated. What I actually want is subscribe kind of to the connection event. Force this to implement the handle connection. Aha. This looks good. This looks good. So if we do implements, oh, my bad, up here. So on the class level, we say implement on gateway connection. We say save, then we have on connection right here. And this is basically our init. So as soon as we get a connection, we get a client, which is a socket.io client actually, but whatever. We want to send it the battle log. So actually we want to do all of this. Right? And as of then, whenever we have to do some backend work, I think. Whenever we produce a new battle log, or when we consume them, we also stream them. Which is kind of bad news because we get a cyclic dependency, which we have to resolve between the WebSocket gateway and the chatbot. But yeah, other than that, so I think we can get rid of this one. We save it, and we can get rid of this emit, and it should work now. Still, where's the battle? Come on, battle, where are you? Tell me where you are. Battle, where are you? Default. Default is not what we want, right? Does it get called? Console.log called. Yeah, it does get called. Actually, it does get called twice for whatever reason. We do this, it gets called, and it now should send the log. We remove this. So it does send init, and this one receives init, and then it renders it. Looks good. Do we have to reload? No. Why does it say default here? Why does this one not work the way we expected? The first question that I have is, does it actually receive the answer? Console log Received answer. It's never called apparently. So we do get this one. Because we don't have add subscribe message. Anything. Right? No? Maybe not. So if I connect, it does call, okay, everything is nice. Then maybe we just have to do it manually. Is it a void function? It doesn't say, unfortunately, the return type, which is a bummer. Exposed from WebSocket package. Yes. Do we have another on gateway? Maybe something more socket.io specific? No, unfortunately not. That's too bad. So maybe if we do client.emit this, then it works. Why not? So what I'm trying to do here is, as soon as we get a client connection, so the server is running all the time, right? The server is running all the time. And as soon as some client connects to it, then we want to send the initial data, the current battle log to it. And as of then, we only have to push updates. That's the nice thing. Until the point where a battle is finished and we start a new one. So I'm not sure why this one does not work. Socket.io. No. Import from NestJS /platform socket.io. Let's see what we can get here. To adapter. That's not much. Seriously? That's all? Why can I not jump in there? Jesus. IO adapter, WebSockets. Create a IO server. You want to have access to the native platform-specific server instance. No, that's not what I want. I do want to have this guy, socket. Socket events host. Is that it? No, probably not, right? Oh, I'm using it wrong. Because socket, it says first the emit and then you just give as a second parameter the data, which is the, and we just want to have it like this. So make this any again. Maybe it works this time. It worked magically. Oh. Sweet. So, what happens now? Actually, do I need this? No, I don't need this, right? It still works. Work, please. Yeah, you work. And in the meantime, let's stage this for once. And let's also stage. When did I stage all this? Because it's in the same repository. It's in the same repository. Perfect. What did I change? Okay, perfect. So now we can remove this. This is the relevant part. And now what? We do get all the initial data. That's good, at least. Now we need to stream everything from the backend to the client. So for that, I want something like the following. We want to say subscribe event, a subscribe message, and does broadcast? We might have to use the client here again to do add socket IO socket type. So add subscribe message. Let's say append or push logs or append logs. Basically, what we can do here is private battle log is an array, equals an array of objects. Okay, my bad. So the type is object array and it's just some array. And here we want to probably just push everything. This dot battlelog dot push dot data. Webamazer. Right? And now we need to stream stuff. So we want to append logs. This dot client dot on append logs. We do the following. We receive some data, which is again some object. Let's call it event, and we define, my bad, let's call it IEvent, just so it's not using the standard. And this is just, for the time being, this is object, and we will change it. Type of object, just object. Okay. So whenever we receive the append logs, we want to have data dot, so it's an array again, data dot push this dot battlelog dot push dot data. And then we can do stuff with it. And that's where things get more complicated. For the time being, let's focus on we actually want to stream things, because then we are, I think, pretty much finished on the backend side and don't even have to touch the socket connection anymore on the backend. Forever. Forever young. I want to be forever young. I don't want to touch socket clients again. Do you really want to never touch socket clients again? Forever and ever. So we return an event called append logs. Yep. And we return again a I event array. Which is also what we return here actually. Does it work? Oh no, wait. Like so. So we give append logs, and now let's just put one I event here with it's an array of something, and we put a type here, and let's say we have a monster appeared, because that's, I think, the first message actually that always comes. And it has some properties. One is the monster, and that's, I think, all. So we did have the ancient red dragon, was it right? Ancient red dragon. Save. Monster, he doesn't like it because it needs some more. So we want the area, it's in planes, let's say. Wait, that's not how planes, like so, right? Then we want the HP to be 21, and the name is Ancient Red Dragon. Bams. And now we have to call this from somewhere. And this somewhere is most likely going to be complicated because we have a cyclic dependency. If I want to have private read only WebSockets, and we put it inside of WebSocket gateway. Import it. Nope. Import it. And then we say this dot WebSockets equals WebSockets. And we say also we want to provide the WebSockets here and web apps. Now we have a cyclic dependency. Yeah. Damn it. Can't resolve WebSocket. Yeah, it cannot resolve the dependency for us because it's cyclic. That's kind of a bummer. Or just because we don't have it in the module? No, it's in the module. So that's fine. The problem is that it's cyclic. So how do we resolve this dilemma? We can listen to the chatbot service, maybe. Or we can poll it. Yeah, maybe we can just poll it. Maybe that's simpler. At least for now. we say not there. We want the WebSocket gateway. We just say So as soon as this starts, we say set interval, and we call a function that does the following. It says chatbot.battlelog. So this is a workaround to do remove or replace workaround caused by cyclic dependency. And the way we are probably going to remove it is the observer pattern, which is fairly simple, but too much for me to remember right now. Is it? Wait, what? Wait, I think it's simple. Let's implement it. Let's implement it. So we say notify. No, I think we can do the yeah. Observer in JavaScript is very, very simple. Private listeners to battle log changes. We say this is an array of functions. So some function that receives the log, which is iEvent array, and it returns void to us. And now, as soon as we provide a public method, subscribe to log, and we want to have pass it a function. We pass it a function. Stop. So callback. It's basically a callback. Yeah, in JavaScript you usually call it callback, not a listener or observer. Subscribe to log, and then we want callback of. Oh wait, we want to push it into this array. Dot push the callback. This dot of amps. And this we initialize to an empty array. And then whenever we actually receive a log, handle message, poll battle logs. Whenever we have a new event, we push it. We push the whole log. We probably don't want to push the whole log. We only want to push the newest message. Dot for each this dot. So I'm polling inside of the chatbot. I'm currently also polling the battle log, and we're doing double polling here basically, but pushing in the other direction. So chatbot is looking at the battle log and looking. Okay, did something change? No, nothing. Okay, did something change? Oh no, nothing. And as soon as it finds something, it on the one hand handles it itself, but it also sends it to the client. So and it sends it to the client by calling each of these callbacks. Dot for each, we say give it a function, and we say this will const new event equals this one, and we get the callback here, and we call callback with new event, and that's it. In this case, however, it's an array. Of course, maybe in the future we might need to send multiple. Not sure yet. And I think that's it for now. So now the chatbot always notifies whoever is listening to it, and now we have to make the WebSocket gateway actually listen. And we say make this by saying chatbot dot subscribe to log, and we say give me a function that does this. So it does receive the log event. Let's write it like this. This dot let's rename this one into append log. This dot append log dot bind this. Now what it it unfortunately somehow okay, like this, I think. It just happens. Sorry. So randomly removing stuff is always nice, and everybody will be able to follow. So we append the log, and how do we do that? We give it a log, which is an iEvent array or logs, and then we probably should make this into plural as well. And I think that's about it. So we have to not downcast this actually. TypeScript is, I think, too strict with what we do. So it should consider it as a function that receives logs iEvent array and returns void. Conversion of type not possible because neither mismatch neither type sufficiently overlaps with the other. If this was intentional, convert the express into unknown first. I suppose we do that for now, and then we'll see how it works. Fix type. But let's make it work first. So some debug messages just to know that everything is fine. And then we need to rewrite this as socket client.emit append logs, and we want to send the data, which is exactly this for the time being. But this actually gets changed. Is that a bracket too much? No, this return type is now wrong. But I don't want you to be returned. I want to return ... logs. Okay. Man, that was slightly complicated. Let's hope it works. Data JSON.stringify the data for me, please. So if I'm not mistaken, whenever, so we initially connect and it gets this first of all. Shouldn't it be, well, yes. somehow the initial log got lost. Battle logs or this one. So on init, this one gets logged. That's fine. And as of then, whenever we receive a new battle log event, we notify this WebSocket gateway and send a message to, or the battle logs also to the client. Okay. I have no idea whether this is going to work, because the one thing that I'm very worried about is this here, the connected socket, whether it actually works as I hope. And other than that, the client then receives append logs and updates it. So we can probably do something like this here on the client side, so that we actually see something and not just in the console. So we write public update. Update is a special method also in Phaser. So create is one of the special methods. Update is one of the special methods. Update is automatically called on the scene at least. And this is where we can do the following. We do this .text. We don't have the text as, do we? No, we don't. So let's add this as a private method here, variable. Log. It's a phaser.text. I think we just write text, or somebody in the chat. Do you remember game objects dot text? There it is. And yes, it is definitely assigned because we do it here. So why do I have to write this exclamation mark? Because TypeScript only sees when something is initiated in the constructor. But Phaser is using this create method for multiple reasons. So it's actually not done in the constructor, but only later, and Phaser does not. TypeScript does not see that. So we do have this one here, and we do this one, and then we do this .log.set text. This battle log something. So we can remove this and that. Okay. So now it's just writing it at a later point, but it's also updating it all the time, which makes it slightly nicer. Slightly nice. So let's do it, I guess. Maybe somebody, so Mace or one of the moderators, Mace or Kusto, I need your help to write !ambush into the chat. And then let's hope everything works. I will do a double check in the meantime. And ooh, everything broke. Thank you, Mace. It's not your fault. You are just a messenger. I love your eagerness of actually joining immediately. But we do have to fix something here. Unhandled promise rejection. Damn it. The connected socket does not work. Does it work if I just do this? Irrelevant. I doubt that this will work. I think we have to go down to the... Do we have to go down to the server to get access to the actual... Maybe I'm also misusing this part somehow. Maybe I'm misusing NestJS. For me, it looks like the WebSocket implementation. Sorry, this WebSocket, the Socket.io implementation with NestJS is just responsive, but not like the server does not have any role in it, which is kind of a bummer. But maybe if I do this, I can inject the socket. No, it's probably not working again, to be honest. Clear, yarn dev, and let's do it again. Let me do this quickly. Joined. Yeah, that's not working. It's definitely not working. So what we need to find out is, how we can have a more active server side with NestJS. NestJS, Socket.io, Socket.io, emit events. It allows you to create message listeners. It also allows you to get the WebSocket instance using the WebSocket server decorator. So we have to use the WebSocket server. Oh, that's much easier than I expected. Sweet. So if we do this private, what? So it's decorating the property. And what does it return? Property decorator. Okay, that's not useful. WebSocket server or server. And it is of type any, let's say. It not only has an implicit any type. I write any. It's not implicit. TypeScript. Or am I using this wrong? Does it need to be like, okay, it has to be like this. Okay, that's fine. It has an emit method, which is just a function. And it's injected, so we do not need to do anything. And now we remove this part, we remove that part, my bad. And we do this .server emit stuff. Where does it emit to? Apparently it's immediately broadcasted. Okay, that's nice, I guess. This type is completely wrong. Just use it as any, because it's a void function. Anyway, thank you, person on the internet. Nikita Fedyachev. Good job. I hope it actually works. Another try. Come on. I need a ambush from the chat. Come on. Oh. And if this actually works, we can remove all the dead code, and it actually is pretty simple. We do have an exclamation mark ambush. We have log length 1, and monster appeared. If we, oh no, multiple ambushes. Nobody knows what multiple ambushes do. I think it works. Yes, let's do it. We actually have a front end again. If I reload it, actually, no, I broke it. I broke it. But it works. Woo! As of now, I think we can just remove all of this stuff and all of this stuff and all of that stuff and also this stuff, and I can remove this fallback. Or empty array. I do need the empty array and the connection something. Can remove that part. We can actually, yeah, that's fine. What I did not understand. Yeah. Very nice. High five. Sweet. We're not quite in the moment of rendering, but we're getting definitely closer. Because as soon as we have all the messengers on the front end side, and we regularly get updates and stuff, that's when we can start actually rendering, I think. So there's one more thing that I want to do now, which is when I incidentally reload the page, it should actually work, I think. Everything, right? Because we just, on init, we sent the complete battle log, which is just everything. Another fallback. That was confusing me here. Let's restart the server once more and see what happens. Yeah, the exclamation mark ambush. The monster appeared. That's fine. If I do exclamation mark join, that's fine. It works. Why did it not work like 5 seconds ago? Weird. But it works. Can somebody join maybe? So we see. Perfect. Thanks, Custo. Monster is attacking now. And it's an Enkek, whatever that is. Maybe a type of hedgehog. Yeah, and now we can attack again. Sweet. Let's at least render one monster. I mean, this is what you all came for, right? I suppose. Stage everything because it's just beautiful. We do want to add the type at some point, and we do want to add the type also here. Actually, we don't need this one. We can probably just do this .server.image. And no, it's broadcasting then. That's a difference. That's different. Now yeah, this one needs to broadcast, this one doesn't. It's not like anybody else will do this. Sweet attack. Yeah, sorry. we've already stopped the server, sorry. But in the cloud we are still fighting. I think in the cloud something odd is probably going on. Did we actually defeat something? Incidentally? Where did I did copy the URL, did I? I posted it in the chat. Apparently we're still all level 1. So we didn't finish any fight. And we're probably also going to die right now. Because if you write some attacks, I think it will actually where's my no, what have I done? I think sorry, if we attack a few times, yeah, we did it. We defeated another poltergeist. Yay. Let's get back to the actual monster. Yeah, I also, if you find another an image of a monster that we can use with CC0 on, for example, open game art, that would be amazing as well. But for the time being, let's focus on the events of the player. So the unfortunate part is I do have to copy a lot of things, I think. Here. Yeah. Basically, I need all of this. I think I can remove that one. Save. Stage. I need all of this to be on the front end. And for that, I do put everything inside of here, I suppose. Bams. And now, so sadly, need to run. See you guys later. Yeah, thank you so much for joining again. And I sent you the link to the last 5 minutes, so you can actually see how we add some image. We do it very, 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 very quickly. So for example, on here, if if data.includes so some search element, x maps to or e maps to e dot not typed I event. I do want I event to be I event now. this guy, and we type this as an event array. And if we go data.includes e maps to e dot, no, TypeScript, why you? Because I don't. I need to filter probably, or find e maps to e dot type equals, let's say monster appeared. Then so we want to have an image, this dot add dot image of a monster on some position. Let's say this dot, so depends on the screen size, unfortunately. Let's just assume everything is 1000. Yeah, 1000. I think that should work. Or let's say 800, and it's in the center, which is this dot scale dot height half center, and we give it some texture which we need to load. Texture, just call it monster for now. And then we do in the loading scene, we say the button is now a monster. And if we get ambushed, there's a monster! Yeah, we did it! It's a giant casual game button. Oh my god, we're getting attacked by casual games. Oh no. Oh my god. Yeah, we of course have to replace this monster. Press the button. It's not clickable, but it got killed. No, it killed us. It's a 1T abomination. 1T abomination. So the button was actually a Naga. Let's find some image here on opengameart.com, not from RubberDuck. Maybe we use a RubberDuck for every monster. Monster. Browse. No, that was correct. Search monster. We want 2D art. We don't want textures. We don't want 3D art. We do want ideally CC0, so I don't have to write so much. And then we search for it. Did it work? Monster, come on. Hey, monster, come on. Geez, how hard can it be? Here's something. A mutant. Do we have a dragon? The dragon monster. Dragon. Vamps. Not you. This one is okay-ish, but it looks to the wrong side. This one is good. Oh yeah. I buy them. CCD Roast, thank you so much. Blarum Mirren for these images. Oh, it's small. I hope we can scale it properly. Let's take that one. Why can I not zoom? And let me copy this image. Let's call it monster. Whatever. Copy this image into the assets directory. Assets something something images. Oh no, it's a button. Oh, it's terrible. And I do want to paste this guy here with a beautiful name. So wait, am I in the right project? Oh, I'm not. Did it work anyway? I think it did. Failed to compile. Why? You're called iEvent. Why did you change your name? Wait, what? We apparently broke something while we added other things. So now it's rendering, compiling again. And now we need to set the image. I think it is already set up, right? So all we have to do is run !ambush. There it is. We did it. We did it. Oh baby, we did it. Maybe we make it slightly bigger just for the time being. We don't want the frames. We want to set display size. And we say it should be 300 pixels. 300 cross, I don't know, 300. There it is. We did it. We get attacked by a monster. It's done. We do get attacked by the monster. And I think this is a good place to stop, to be honest. Don't you? Oh no. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I did greatly. I think this was one of the most interesting streams that we had so far. And we do have it running on the front end. Now we always stream all of the battle logs also back to the front end. So we just can render it. As we had originally planned in the abstraction level stream. Was it last time? The one before? The ancient CC0 dragon. Yeah, so shout out to Blaru Mirren. Oh. Sorry for that. Thank you so much. This guy delivering us our first dragon here on the TypeScript tea time. Looking slightly different from what apparently it's shifted, mirrored. It's actually a completely different dragon, right? Well, whatever works. Thank you so much for joining. I had a lot of fun. We also had a couple of new guests. Unfortunately, none of them subscribed. Maybe next time. Definitely hope to see you next time. I very much appreciate that you've spent the time here with me on the Wednesday evening, or depending on your time zone, it might be something different. And yeah, see you next time in the TypeScript tea time. Let's rate somebody. Rate somebody. Is anybody online that I know? No, unfortunately not. We can maybe rate Instafluff is going on, is online. So let's rate Instafluff because he's pretty cool and he has amazing ideas always. Instafluff, and it's generally just a like relaxed and fluffy guy. Thank you so much. See you next time. Yeah, for whatever reason, the raid didn't work. Did he go offline just now? Maybe? No, apparently not. Instafluff. Okay, for whatever reason the rating doesn't work right now. For whatever reason, maybe Twitch has some issues. Anyway, yeah, you find everything online as Stream Elements is saying right here in the Git repository. I will push in a minute. And then, yeah, see you next time. Bye-bye.